New episode, new week.
New blessings.
We live.
Live.
We're live. Oh,
You know how it go.
new guest.
Very new guest.
New person in the studio.
A new face. I'm
New
excited.
face.
Gonna impact us with some serious knowledge. Very serious.
Rumor told me you're a boxing aficionado.
Something like that.
Something like that. That's it. So, what's going on with the boxing and all of that? What's it like?
Where should we start? It's crazy right now, isn't it? It's crazy. Heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, middleweight division. It's popping. I feel like it's popping. Yeah.
What about yourself? Do you box?
Obviously, I dabble with it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, do the sparring. Had a few competitive bouts and whatnot. So yeah, I knock about with it a little bit.
It's tough out here, man. No, not me. I can't box, but you know, the dedication.
Yeah.
What's required to do it, man. I respect anyone that even tries, man, and attempts it. So.
Just been trying and attempted this. It's mad. But
Yeah, no, it definitely takes a lot of heart, but yeah, you gotta respect everyone who steps through the ropes, really. So
I rate that.
the utmost respect.
So we have to give you the TMG intro, you know.
The
bring
TMG
in
welcome.
The initiation. So I got a couple questions for you. I know we had some healthy discussion before the pod, so I know you're passionate about sports. So I respect that.
Who, me or him? Because you looked at me when you said that.
I don't know about you and sports. you man just here making it up.
I had to tell you the facts.
Yeah.
Detailed analysis.
Okay,
The
Ronaldo or
truth.
Messi?
I'm biased. I'm a United fan, so Ronaldo.
I'm just gonna let that slide. LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
MJ.
City or Liverpool?
None.
None. Oh, you're a United fan, innit? He doesn't care.
That's like the worst.
Mayweather or Ali?
That's a tough one. I'll go for Ali.
Wait, does your heart say Ali, your head say Mayweather?
Yeah, basically, it's literally one of them ones, but yeah, Ali's had more of a impact, long lasting one, I'll say.
Fury or AJ?
AJ every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Who do you think's
Who's
gonna
the fight?
who do you think's
Anytime,
who do you think's gonna
on
win the
Sunday.
fight
He's gonna win the fight.
when they actually get in the ring?
That's a difficult one. I want to just say AJ, but I feel like there's a lot of factors that can happen in that fight. Obviously, looking at the Deontay Wilder fight, obviously it surprised me. I didn't think that Wilder would get stopped.
We're
How he got
gonna
stopped.
talk about Wilder in a minute.
Deontay.
In a minute.
Yeah,
Deontay
but
whining Wilder.
for now, I'll go for AJ.
Canelo or Crawford?
Ooh,
It's a new one.
It's a new one. Just to be doing his research. I'm impressed.
Bud. I'm gonna go for Bud.
TC.
Okay. So what's your favourite sport? Football, basketball, boxing?
Ooh. Well, United haven't been doing too well.
So you're not a football guy right now.
That one's taken a back seat for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So I'll probably say boxing, but if I'm being honest, football is my first love.
Football's
So,
your first love. I can hear that, man. Us UK boys.
yeah.
Football's the first love, man.
The greatest sport
Always,
ever.
always.
and it always will be.
You know, it is what it is, man. I love football, but today we're gonna take a different turn. Some guy said we need to talk more about boxing.
Yeah, it's the
He's been
preeminent.
pushing it, man. He's been pushing boxing right now. He said, right now, it's the hottest sport.
I mean, it really is. I mean, all the big fights happening, all the big fights that are going to happen. I mean, like I said before, with all the pandemic, it's kind of forced boxing to a place where they have to try and, recoup as much revenue as possible. And the only way they can do that without the getting the fans is to, make sure all these big fights happen. And that's what seems to be happening right now. I mean, you got Spence and Danny Garcia, early December. Obviously, you got Joshua and Pulev. You got mid to early December as well. I think Fury's fight has been cancelled after you have to see where that's going or whatever. And then you just had obviously Terence Crawford, Kell Brook. You've had Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Tank Davis. It goes on and on. There's been many, many big fights in such a short space of time, and that doesn't usually happen in boxing.
It doesn't. Anyway, today I was just scrolling through the internet. Just scrolling as you do, I saw some interesting things. Some people boxing, which not in the ring, but you know what it is. then I saw Wilder again. At this time, he wasn't even calling out Fury. Guess he was calling out today.
What do you call it, AJ or something?
He called out White.
Why?
He said the White is like an old ex. that keeps on trying to come back. So he says he wants him now.
Wilder's he's cheeky, you know.
It's so cheeky.
It's cheeky for a guy that has a resume that's highly overrated and inflated. But to be honest, you know, he had like almost 10 title defenses. But you know, you know when they say in boxing they matchmake fighters, like you know, to prop up their career and to make it seem better than they are. That's actually what they've done to Wilder. If you take a detailed look at his career, that's what you would see. I mean, the Fury fight, of course, but even then, the first Fury fight, he tried to catch Fury when he's, you know, when he's at his worst.
Yeah.
From the weakest spot. Fury as well has had some awful fights in between these big fights.
Yeah, you could.
He's got greater moments than the other guys. I
His highs are the highest of anyone's in boxing. I mean, what he did to Klitschko when Klitschko was undefeated was amazing. And obviously, what's he done to Wilder as well. I mean, as much as I love Joshua, he hasn't done those things. I mean, the Klitschko he beat wasn't the same Klitschko that Fury beat. And he hasn't beat Wilder. Even though consistently wise, AJ's been fighting top 10 guys week, year, fight in, fight out, consistently, you know, on the ball every single time. But Fury's highest, those two fights, especially, you know, they're the highest out of current heavyweight crop right now.
So what? It sounds like you guys are trying to say that Fury is number one from what you guys have.
In the heavyweight division,
Yeah.
I mean, after the Wilder fight, I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with that division.
As the Wild Fury is number one, I believe that the AJ fight is a good fight, but because of what Fury is and what it represents, I just don't see AJ beating him. I mean, AJ has the tools. If he has good coaching, he has all the tools to to beat him. AJ has all the tools. He could do it. But I believe Fury, if they were to fight 10 times, Fury wins 6 or 7.
So I struggle to believe that, because if we look at resumes now, if we look at you guys literally just talked about Wilder's resume,
Yeah.
Fury's resume. Everyone on there, AJ would demolish
Of course.
easily,
Yeah, true.
with ease. But Povetkin, that never happened with Wilder.
Of course not.
Obviously, he's got Kubrat Pulev. You can argue that would be a very hard fight for possibly both of them.
Yeah.
Ruiz,
But then remember, AJ fought Klitschko, and the way AJ fought Klitschko was not the same way Fury. When Fury fought Klitschko, it was
everyone says that.
it was a tactical masterclass. It was never like,
Well, like I said,
not
like I said, the
street
Klitschko, what's his name? Fury fought was, you know, the undefeated this guy. Maybe Klitschko had an off night or whoever. And maybe, you know, when Klitschko came to fight AJ on the rebound, he was heavily motivated and to give it, you know, that's his last hurrah. But even as, you know, objective looking at it, that Klitschko, you know, at least on paper, was the better Klitschko.
Yeah, the Klitschko that Fury beat was a better Klitschko than the one that Joshua.
I can argue it. It wasn't. Honestly, I can actually.
You can
argue
I
it.
can't explain as well, but
Because, okay, if you look at it like this, all Klitschko's fights prior to losing to Fury, it was like a run in the mill. It was literally a run in the mill. None of them was exciting. You know, that heavyweight division was now becoming still that typical jab, hold. And I truly believe if you go watch it back, I truly believe he thought he would be able to do that to Fury.
Of course.
Fury's fight prior to him fighting Klitschko as well wasn't the greatest. And it's like, cool, now you've come up against, you know, the juggernaut, the Dr. Stillhammer of the division. And I truly believe he underestimated Fury and thought, I'm just going to be able to steamroll him one punch. I'll be able to catch him one point or the other during this fight. It just never came. But when you fought AJ now, that uppercut, I'm sure, would have laid out anybody in the heavyweight division.
Indeed, that Joshua doesn't have that stronger, Joshua doesn't have that stronger chin, man. Joshua can get got. He can get
100%. Joshua can get got, but I'm talking about the punch he laid on Klitschko now. Are you telling me that uppercut that he gave Klitschko, that Fury would have probably be able to get through that? Or
Fury got it from a Wilder right hand.
True.
He got it. It was nearly done.
His eyes were closed for like at least 2-3 seconds.
Man was praying, fam. Man was actually genuinely
That
praying.
was divine intervention. I mean, Fury's he showed me things in terms of heart, the skills, obviously size, his ability that I think may be too much for AJ when they fight. I mean, I want AJ to, don't get me wrong, but when that fight does happen, and Fury's, you know, his adaptability like we spoke about before, in the ring, in the match, I feel is a bit more than AJ. He offers more in terms of being able to adapt to different situations, you know, kind of switch it at times.
didn't the Ruiz second fight teach you that he can adapt? Though?
Of course he can adapt. I'm not saying AJ can't adapt, but that's from fight to fight. I'm talking about in fight.
In fact, Fury's got different plans.
I think Fury's got tools, and also the mental side of things as well. That's also another thing. I give Fury some points when he fought Klitschko. I kind of feel he made Klitschko kind of underestimate. Klitschko thought it was a joke. Like the stuff he was coming up with, the gimmicks, that sort of stuff, and he kind of just put
That's how Fury put like
Klitschko to
he
a
kind
sense
of like lulls you.
It lulls you to sleep.
It lulls you to like, and then he might obviously doesn't have the knockout power, which is surprising because he's probably the biggest
He
guy.
showed against Wilder.
It didn't knock him. He was just giving him. Like that's a constant beating. That kind of beating is even worse than.
Oh, if you mean like one punch, flat out, no, he doesn't have that.
But that's a constant beating. I think the Wilder Joshua fight will be a good fight as well.
Of course, it would be.
That one's a shootout.
And I don't think that favors Joshua though.
It does.
It does not.
does.
I don't think that
It
shootout
does.
with Wilder does not.
It does.
Does not favor him.
But look at all.
If he makes it at like the Ruiz second fight, then he will win. He'll win.
He can win both ways. Because let's be honest, I don't like when people just Wilder. Like I said, Wilder's recipe. If you go through it, it's crap.
Knockout power.
No, but he's knocking out bums.
Yeah, but he will knock
I'm
out
not
Joshua.
I'm not saying he can't knock out Joshua, but he's been knocking out bums.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like,
But
see,
if it
the difference between knocking out bums and knocking out credible guys, and Wilder has power in one hand. Maybe Wilder's right hand is more powerful than Joshua's, but it's not by much.
Do you know what's even more disturbing? Because you've just mentioned he knocks out bums. It's funny we say that because when you fought Spilka, when you fought Ortiz ain't a bum in my opinion, but
Ortiz is a good fight. But
Ortiz was
a
an
man said
old
he's 50.
aging, yeah.
He's
But when you put
50
people like
as well.
Spilka, even Brazil, even though that lasted very, it was a short fight, but Wilder is still getting caught.
Yep.
He's still getting hit, still getting touched. And I feel like all these people he's fighting there, like Brazil, even though AJ fought Brazil, they're much slower, plodder type style fighters. Perfect matchmaking. AJ is strong, fast, quick.
Think about some of the fights that AJ had. Takam, that was an awful fight.
But that was
an awful fight.
That was a feeling, right?
Yeah, it was literally it was the last minute, and he really done.
He should have dominated those fights.
No, but he
not.
he took it.
Parker fight was boring.
Parker was undefeated. Parker's a good fighter, you know.
Yeah.
Tell Wilder to fight Parker.
I mean, he got a good win against. Did he beat Ruiz?
He did,
Yeah, he did beat Ruiz,
I mean, that was a bit 50-50. You go looking back at it, but yeah, he did beat Ruiz.
I think.
But what I was saying about Wilder and AJ, Wilder might have more power in his right hand. He probably does.
He does.
Be honest,
He does.
but both hands, AJ takes that battle because Wilder's left hand, if you've seen, is I mean, he has a decent jab when he wants to use it, but it
I've
doesn't
never
power.
seen him use his left hand like
His
that.
power is
He's got Deontay Wilder actually has a really good jab, but like you said, when he uses it, he doesn't.
Both
use
hands
it enough.
power is collective, and AJ has that. In my opinion, over him, just that he doesn't look for it as much as Wilder because Wilder's a one-trick pony.
Very well.
I mean, if he hits what
a really good trick though.
it's a good trick. I mean, if he hits AJ clean with a right hand, then yes, it's
I
going to be very
believe
long.
Wilder beats White. Now I look back on it, I think because White will definitely lead himself into that right hand, and White's going to sleep.
Yeah, I have to agree.
He's going to sleep.
I feel like White would probably be beating him up.
Yeah, but then
White
he just
leaves
goes to
himself
sleep.
open. Yeah, he
Yeah,
leaves
he just goes
himself
to sleep.
too.
But he's
open.
more suspect to uppercuts, isn't it, White? Is it uppercuts?
That uppercut he held was
But
nuts. But the thing is, White is a man that he would just lose it for a second, and he would just start swinging it out. Like remember his fights with Chisora, he would make it a street fight, and that would just he would just go to
But
bed.
he's improved though, because if you look at the Chisora second fight now, you see he caught him in the first round, and usually the old White
He would be coming to ball out.
literally ball out and take him out. Took his time, jab, hit, and kept it moving. Then he eventually caught him, what was it, like 10, 11 round?
Yeah, so
Just to close down this Wilder episode, at least for now. How does Wilder rebuild his career?
he takes on fights against credible guys. That's all he is. He's got to fight White. He's got to fight these guys now. He hasn't got any excuse. He can't make his fights anymore. What? No one will take him seriously.
Got no belt.
Because look at that. Fury's able to just say, I don't want to fight you. And that's it.
So they're currently going through some mediation, blah, blah, blah.
Don't worry. Fury doesn't care. He
legal
just wants
stuff.
AJ.
Yeah.
He just wants AJ now.
I still feel like the fight would happen next year. Because if it wasn't going to, Fury would have fought this year, I believe.
Well, Fury, AJ or Fury Wilder?
Fury.
No, but you see, which fight's gonna happen? Fury against AJ or Fury?
Fury versus Wilder.
Oh, for me,
I don't
it could
think it's
happen.
going to happen. I think Fury just said, I've done this enough.
Yeah, but if it's legal.
To be fair, Fury has basically beaten him twice.
Of course he has.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we need to have a third fight.
I
The
don't
boys-
really
It doesn't have
need
the
to
same
see it,
appeal.
I mean, they said mediation. I don't really know what that
They'll
mean.
pay
they
off.
mean
They'll
by
pay off
that.
White. They'll pay off Wilder to step aside
Fair
so
enough.
he can fight AJ.
Fair enough. But you know,
I think AJ, but I don't think AJ's gonna take the fight immediately.
against who? Fury.
He's not gonna take
Why
it
not?
immediately. He's gonna have a warm up fight. That fight won't happen till like November.
What?
He can't have a warm up because I think he's mandatory. Usyk, he's got to fight him next after.
So he's gonna fight Usyk. So he'll fight Usyk. Then.
I mean, yeah, if he's forced to fight Ishii, that would be his warm up.
That's
But I think he might.
easy fight for AJ, I believe.
I won't say easy.
I think
but
it is. I think
he will take him out.
I think
Yeah,
we'll take. I think the size difference.
Yeah, Usyk won't be able to hurt him.
You never know, but I just feel the size difference and the power. I feel will be too much for Usyk.
A walking target. Chisora literally
plodder.
is a target.
Yeah, but he's still acclimatizing to the weight, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, just will help him acclimatize.
yeah, he's still acclimatizing. You never know. By the third time, this will be his third fight in the division. You never know. By then, he'll be able to, you know, pack more of a punch. His body may be more adjusted to the weight. You never know.
You think he can? I just don't think he can handle it in heavyweight division. He's just not heavyweight.
I don't think he can, at an elite level, but. If you give him time to acclimatize to the division more, like if you fought someone before the AJ fight, let's say you fought, I don't know what, Joseph Parker, but then again he needs
Joseph Parker beats him.
Probably, but then again he needs to fight someone more of the size of the giants because Chisora and the guy before him that Chad Johnson and Joseph Parker and White, they're not the size of AJ and Fury and Wilder, so he needs to fight like a proper 6'5", 6'6" built
Wilder,
guy.
you know.
Yeah, probably could, yeah.
He's a runner.
Wilder will take him out though.
If Wilder hits him, he's going to bed.
Done.
Yeah, but Usyk's style might be.
I like
get hit.
to see him fight someone like Dominic Brazil. I think
He's gonna knock
That's
him out.
perfect.
but he's more of the size, the size of the fighting someone 6'5", 6'6".
Fight OTs.
Brazil was a plodder as well. I want to see him someone who's big like a Wilder.
Well, maybe Wilder, but
I think that would be a really good fight.
I don't think Wilder would take it. Then.
Yeah.